Have you noticed that something as simple as standing up from a chair or climbing the stairs feels harder than it used to? Maybe you've chalked it up to age. And yes, getting older does bring some changes. But what if I told you that your legs aren't getting weaker just because of time, but because of a few small things you might be doing every day without even realizing it? It happens quietly. One day, you're out gardening, walking around the grocery store, doing just fine. And then the next, your legs feel heavy. They get tired faster. You start avoiding longer walks or hesitate before going upstairs. Maybe it's even led to a stumble or two. And that's when the worry sets in. Am I losing my independence? If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. I've spoken with so many older adults who felt like their legs were betraying them. But the truth is, in many cases, it's not just aging, it's habit. Certain routines that feel harmless are actually working against your muscles, draining away your leg strength day by day. The good news? Once you become aware of these sneaky mistakes, you can stop them and start rebuilding strength even in your 70s, 80s, or beyond. In today's video, we're going to gently shine a light on 3 of the most common everyday mistakes that slowly destroy leg strength, and most importantly, what you can do instead. You don't need a gym, fancy machines, or a personal trainer. Just awareness, a few adjustments, and a willingness to take small steps toward better mobility. If you want to feel more confident in your body and discover simple, practical ways to stay strong, steady, and independent as you age, please comment below with number 1. Or comment number 2 if you've been feeling uncertain, maybe even a little scared, as your legs grow weaker and you're not sure what's causing it. This will help us understand what matters most to you, so we can keep creating content that truly supports your health, safety, and peace of mind. Now, let's start with the first mistake. And this one surprises almost everyone. It's sitting too much, but more specifically, sitting wrong. You've probably heard that sitting is the new smoking, but let me explain why this is especially important for your legs when we sit for long stretches, and especially when we sit with poor posture. Our hip flexors tighten, our glutes shut down, and our leg muscles stop being actively engaged. It's like turning off the power to your lower body. Over time, your body forgets how to activate the muscles that keep you strong and steady. You might notice your knees ache when you stand up, or your balance isn't as sharp as it once was. Sitting is part of life. We rest, we read, we watch TV, we eat. I'm not saying you should never sit, but here's the shift. Make sitting active. Choose a firm chair where your knees are at a right angle. Keep your feet flat on the floor. Every 20-30 minutes, stand up, take a few steps, or even just shift your weight. And when you do sit, try engaging your thigh muscles for just a few seconds at a time. It's subtle, but over time, these tiny activations help remind your legs that they still have work to do. I once worked with a gentleman named Frank, who told me his legs were getting weaker no matter what he tried. When I asked about his daily routine, he said, "Oh, I just sit most of the day, but I walk every morning." Here's the thing, that one 20-minute walk can't undo the 10 hours spent sitting in a recliner. Once Frank started changing how he sat, choosing firmer chairs, moving more often, and doing a few mini leg exercises during TV commercials, within weeks, he felt steadier, He even called me to say, "I stood up from the couch without using my hands today." That brings us to another problem, but we'll get there soon. What matters right now is recognizing how something as normal as sitting could be slowly chipping away at your strength. This doesn't require a dramatic lifestyle overhaul. It's about making everyday moments a little more intentional, using the time you're already sitting to work with your body, not against it. So the next time you find yourself getting comfortable in your favorite chair, take a moment, wiggle your toes, push your heels into the ground. Feel those muscles wake up, because every bit of movement counts, and it adds up in ways you might not expect. There's something empowering about realizing that small changes can help you reclaim your strength. And once you become aware of how sitting too much and sitting the wrong way affects your legs, it naturally leads to the next mistake that creeps in quietly, relying too much on support. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but I use the handrail for safety, or I lean on my cane because I'm afraid I might fall. And that makes perfect sense. No one is suggesting you throw safety out the window. But here's the key. It's the over-reliance on support that becomes the problem. When we constantly lean, hold, or brace ourselves, our muscles slowly stop doing the work they were built to do. I've seen this in so many people. Take Margaret, for example. She's 73 and healthy, but she started using a walker after a hip surgery a few years ago. The surgery healed beautifully, but she kept the walker just in case. Over time, her legs weakened, not because of the surgery, but because they no longer had to carry her full weight. Her muscles were getting the message, "You're off duty now," and they started shrinking. She was shocked when one day she realized she couldn't even stand on her own without grabbing something nearby. What I told Margaret is what I'll tell you. Our legs, like any muscle, respond to challenge. If we don't ask them to work, they forget how. But the good news is, they can remember. That doesn't mean ditching your cane or support tools overnight. It means finding little ways in safe environments to gradually ask your legs to take on more responsibility. Start small. Stand at the kitchen counter and let go for a few seconds while brushing your teeth. When getting up from a chair, try pushing through your legs rather than your arms, even if just for part of the movement. These tiny efforts retrain your body to balance, stabilize, and support itself. And the more often you do it, the stronger your legs become, and the less you'll need to lean in the future. I always say, balance is like trust. If you don't practice it, you lose it. But it can be rebuilt. Now, there's one more mistake I see often, and this one tends to sneak past people completely. It's skipping strength building altogether. We often think, I walk every day. Isn't that enough? And while walking is wonderful for your heart and circulation, it doesn't build the kind of leg strength you need to rise from the floor, climb stairs, or catch yourself if you trip. Walking mostly uses the same muscles in the same way, over and over. But strength? That comes from asking your muscles to push, to hold, to lift. Imagine your legs are like a bank account. Every time you lift yourself from a chair without your hands, you make a deposit. Every time you do a slow squat or a step up on the stairs, you're building savings. And when the unexpected happens, a stumble, a misstep, a long day out, you'll be glad you've made those deposits. So many older adults avoid strength training because they think it's too hard or too late. But the truth is, your muscles are listening no matter your age. Even seated leg lifts, slow and steady, can build strength. Using soup cans as ankle weights, stepping side to side while brushing your hair. These small acts matter more than you know. And the best part? The moment you stop making these 3 mistakes, you're already on your way to stronger, steadier legs and a more confident, active life. One thing I've learned after working with so many older adults is that confidence is just as important as muscle. When you feel steady on your feet, when your legs respond the way you expect them to, you carry yourself differently. There's less fear, more freedom. But when your strength slips, even just a little, it can chip away at your independence in ways that really sting. And that brings us to the last mistake, one that's just as powerful as the others: doing everything too quickly and without intention. We live in a world that's always rushing. Even in retirement, many people move from one thing to the next without slowing down. But here's the thing: when it comes to leg strength and stability, fast isn't better. In fact, speed often robs you of strength. I once met a woman named Gloria, 79 years old, sharp as a tack, and proud of how independent she was. She told me, "I'm always on the go. I don't need help. I move faster than half the people my age." But when I watched her stand up from her chair, I saw it. She used momentum. A quick rock forward, a push with her arms, and a fast lean. It got her up, sure, but her legs were barely involved. They weren't being challenged. They weren't getting stronger. This kind of speed-based movement becomes a habit. We use the quickest way to get something done instead of the most beneficial one. Over time, this shortcut becomes costly. The muscles that aren't used begin to shrink. And when you finally do need them, to stop a fall, lift something off the ground, or climb stairs, they're not there for you. So how do you fix this? Simple. Slow everything down. Next time you stand up, pause. Scoot forward in your chair. Plant your feet firmly on the ground. Tighten your thighs and push through your heels. Use your arms if you must, but try letting your legs do more of the work. You'll be amazed how different it feels when you move intentionally. Your muscles start to wake up, and with practice, they get stronger. And don't stop there. Try doing a few slow sit-to-stands every day. Start with 2 or 3. Focus on control, lowering yourself with care, then rising with purpose. It's not a race. Think of it as a quiet conversation with your body, a way of saying, "I'm still here. I still want to move. Let's do this together." I remember working with a gentleman named Harold. He'd always been active, but after a hospital stay, he got into the habit of using his arms for everything: getting out of bed, off the toilet, up from the couch. When I suggested slowing down and using his legs more, he looked doubtful. But within a few weeks, the change was clear. "I didn't think this would work," he said, "but I feel steadier, stronger, like my legs are part of me again." That's the gift of moving with intention. It reconnects you to your own strength, physically and mentally. It reminds your body what it's capable of. And that message is more powerful than you think. You see, leg weakness doesn't arrive overnight. It builds slowly, through little habits repeated day after day. But the beautiful part? Strength works the same way. With every mindful step, every slow stand, every moment you resist the urge to rush or rely too much, you're rewriting the story, and the next time you walk across the room or step outside for a stroll, you just might notice something. A steadiness, a quiet confidence, a sense that your legs are waking up and ready to carry you wherever life leads. It's easy to feel frustrated when your body doesn't move the way it used to. When something as simple as walking across the room feels like a chore, it can start to chip away at your confidence. But if there's one thing I want you to take away from this, it's this. Your legs are not beyond help. You are not too old, and real meaningful change is still possible, no matter your age or current condition. Just think about what we've uncovered together. Maybe you didn't realize how much time you spend sitting, or that the way you sit could be slowly weakening your legs. Maybe you hadn't noticed how often you rely on your arms, a walker, or even the wall just to move around the house. Or maybe, like so many people, you've simply been rushing through daily movements, never realizing that speed was robbing you of the chance to rebuild your strength. The truth is, these habits sneak in quietly. But the beautiful part is, the solution doesn't have to be loud or complicated. It's not about punishing exercise routines or hours in the gym. It's about presence, awareness, a small shift in how you move, how you sit, how you stand, done consistently with care. Your legs have carried you through so much. They've walked you into rooms filled with joy, stood strong in moments of grief, and held you up through decades of life's highs and lows. They deserve some attention now, not from a place of fear, but from a place of hope. Because the body remembers, and when you begin to move with intention, your legs will respond. They will regain strength. They will surprise you. I've seen it again and again. People who thought they were too far gone take those first small steps. One mindful sit to stand. One day where they walked a little farther. One week where they paid attention to how they moved instead of just getting through the motions. And slowly, quietly, strength returned. Not just in their legs, but in their spirit too. So, don't let these mistakes go unnoticed any longer. Instead, start making the small choices that add up to something bigger. Choose to sit with purpose. Choose to stand with strength. Choose to move with intention, even if it's only for 5 minutes a day. Your legs will thank you, and your future self will too. And if this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your story. Maybe you've struggled with leg weakness, or maybe you found little habits that helped you get stronger. Share your experience in the comments below. Your journey might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And while you're here, don't forget to like this video if it brought you value. It helps more than you know. And if you'd like to see more simple, practical health tips made just for people like you, kind-hearted, curious, and determined to live fully at any age, hit that subscribe button. We're building a community where you're not just seen, you're supported. Because getting older isn't the end of strength. It's the beginning of a new kind. A kind rooted in patience, in awareness, and in the wisdom to know that small steps still move us forward. So, wherever you are right now, whether you're seated in your favorite chair, standing at the kitchen counter, or just finishing your morning walk, Take a deep breath. Feel your legs beneath you. And remember, you're stronger than you think. Live your best life, one strong step at a time.